Welcome once again. We'll proceed immediately into our Vader City Council meeting. I would invite the council to defer if you'd like, or call to order. Although I would, for public record, announce the time at 6:19 p.m. And I would suggest we defer the roll call and the invocation portion, and would therefore jump directly into the mayor's report. You'll note that we have one item on the agenda that relates to an update on the status of hiring a hearings examiner. You'll note at our last two city council meetings, we reported that we've had a very difficult time, and we reinitiated an effort by sending a mailing to every law office within a 50-mile radius, I would say, north and south. And I'm pleased to report that we've had several, I think would be the right word, soft responses, and today we received one actual proposal. So we are fist pumping, and we're confident that by our next city council meeting we'll have some did we not?
I think our cutoff is after that, so it'll probably be the next
Yeah,
one.
it was the 26th for the cutoff. Today is the 12th. Yeah, so, well, it might be possible, but anyway, we're hoping in the very near future having a hearing examiner, which, since we have an audience here, it was inferred that we have burned out houses in the city of Vader and we're not doing anything about it. Well, anybody who believes that obviously is not staying current on the news, because we are one hearing examiner away from implementing an ordinance that will, with teeth in it, that is enforceable. And we're going to go after these deadbeat property owners who are blighting our community with those burned out buildings. So once again, that's evidence of our determination as a council, even though the council isn't a law enforcement entity. The council, if there are ordinances out there, we can ensure that law enforcement does their job. If we do our job as elected officials, and I can tell this group that this city council is doing its job. So that, I hope, will begin to dispel the other urban myth that the Vader City Council isn't doing anything about lawlessness within the city limits of the city of Vader. It's because everybody that is claimed to be engaging in criminality doesn't mean it's right. But I know not everybody is engaging in criminality in the city of Vader. Okay, with that, editorialization going on. I wanted to also add, as mayor's report, that we have received the punch list for the Vader I&I removal project that we got on February 10th. We approved it today. And what this is a list of items that the company is going to go back and begin, probably effective tomorrow, to conclude the processes involved in the wrap-up phases of this first phase of the I&I removal project. So I'm pleased to report that, and there will be sufficient funding after we're done to probably fund another 35 houses if we can identify property owners who are willing to take this grant money to resolve any problems with their side sewers. So that was, I think, concludes my mayor's report. If you have further questions about that, feel free to see me afterwards, or Joe. I would suggest we move forward with the agenda approval at this time. I'd invite the City Council to proceed with action on that agenda item.
I'll make a motion to approve the City Council meeting agenda for February 12th, 2015.
Okay, heard the motion submitted by Mr. Olson to approve the agenda for that specified meeting. Do we have a second? Seconded by Mr. Wilson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion is carried. Now minutes approval for January 22nd City Council meeting.
Put a motion on the table to approve the minutes as written for January 22nd, 2015.
Okay, Mr. Flynn has submitted that motion as stated. Have a second? Second by Mr. Fennison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Voucher approval.
Make a motion to approve the first half of February 2015 in the amount of $27,258.73.
Heard that motion submitted by Mr. Shy to approve the voucher approval and the amount stated. Second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Olson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Public comment.
Judy Costello. Judy Costello, 709 A Street, Vader. I would like to report that I have raised my whole $600 I needed. I emailed Steve, and I think he put it in the paper for me, which I appreciate. Thank you very much. We now will have 4 new park benches and 16 new flower planters, and they will be all located on public property, but will be all in the downtown core area. This was designed by me for people walking down to the little store and back in the summertime, going to the post office, whatever, so they'll be all around. So I just wanted to report and let you know that my project is completed.
Very
Thank
good.
you very much.
Appreciate that. Okay.
How come we don't have enough money to take and put, like Dave Holland and I wanted to do on A Street, put an 8-foot right down the middle and put trees and lights and stuff in it? One way this way, one way this way.
There you go, new project.
Another $600 maybe?
Well, it'd take a little more than
I think so.
600.
No more than $600.
Well, I had it hanging up over here, that was several years ago, but
Yeah.
we thought it, I thought it worked good. That was after we had the street all blacktop and everything. Take and put a 8-foot in the center,
Would that be nice?
yeah, flowers and stuff.
Maybe sometime down the road. That would be nice.
Job security.
Do we have another?
There's not another, but we didn't have a lot of time for people to sign up after the public hearings. I don't know if we want to.
Would the council,
Yeah, open it up.
does somebody have a public comment you'd like to make at the moment? Okay, going once, twice, okay. Then let's proceed with the agenda, city business. The council, item 1, is to consider the solid waste and recycling options, including Resolution 02-2015, a solid waste contract with the Community Waste and Recycling. We have representatives of 2 entities here. I think we have officials with LeMay and we have Jeff Cummins. And I hope the council has had a chance to consider the options that are available for your consideration. We don't have an official contract to present to you at the moment, but yes, Mr. Woods.
I've been involved in the city government over 31 years. And when Jeff come along, we didn't have no problem. We still don't have no problem with Jeff. And as far as I'm concerned, I would make a motion that we take Jeff's contract, period. I'm tired of this stuff playing around and keeping him behind the curtain.
We've submitted a motion before the council to accept the contract, but there's not a contract yet to, so I presume the motion would be to approve a contract that might emerge from Mr. Cummins.
Mayor, the council might not be aware of everything
Yeah.
at the moment. There isn't anything in our packet about
Yeah,
the
we were
last
going
couple
to
of weeks.
explain all of
Well,
that to them, because we
okay.
didn't have.
Then perhaps it would be appropriate, but you could withdraw a motion on the premise that you would hear what particulars have emerged from the contract or a potential contractual options that are available to you.
I withdraw the motion.
Okay. But well said, with good feet. Okay. Well then, how to best go about this, given the time constraints? I've got to inform the council that I unfortunately have until 7 o'clock.
We'll be done.
I have no escape clause there. But you have 3 options, and let's see if I can capture them, and we'll expand on that. The option is that the council could take no action on a contract and engage in some form of garbage service with no option. You could accept a contract, a proposal submitted by Mr. Cummins, and continue the current nature of the relationship, or you could consider a contract proposal by, yes.
You almost got them. You got two of
It's
them
getting
right.
close.
Yeah, you're close. We should not do the no contract. That, remember, our legal counsel said to not do the no contract.
Well, but it is an option. I mean,
Sure,
the
it
legal
is an
counsel
option.
is
Okay,
going to
it is.
give you that option. But if we addressed it, then we would point out that our legal counsel has indicated that we could do it, but we'd be crazy to do that. So it is an option.
So right now, the three options that are really reasonable,
We're about to hear the three options that are available to you.
so the three options that are really available after having met with LeMay last week and Jeff Cummins last week as well, I think. Jeff is willing to offer recycling for $5 a month fee. LeMay is willing to offer services that are garbage and recycling, or any or all or none of the above, whatever people want. Their prices are comparable to each other as far as the monthly cost. The can sizes are different, but that's the difference between the two offers there. Those are the two options that we have numbers for. The third option is to go out for bids. The city's not required to do that, but we can. There are other garbage services around other than those two. So those are the three options that we have at this point.
Yeah, well, in actuality, I interpret that as almost four options, because you've melded the LeMay and the Jeff Cummins.
Like, whatever.
But, yeah,
In any event, we could go with one, we could go with the other, we could look for more bids. We could do the fourth one, which is crazy to do, but it's an option, I suppose.
hopefully that gives you something to discuss. We have representatives from the two entities with us, yes.
The city, in all these years, recycling will not work. Reason one, we got so many people that's sitting with pickups loaded with garbage. People don't pay for their garbage. They pack it on their porch and all of that stuff. Poor old Jeff was picking up a lot of this for nothing. We still got the same thing, and this is what I'm so excited about. Excuse me being excited like this, but I am. Because I don't like to see the city being with junk packed all the way around, because the city itself does not take any action to make those people pick it up one way or another. And I still say that I want to see Mr. Cummings in here, period. I've made my point.
Well, other than that stimulating observation, other council commentary.
I want to present my view of this strictly on an ethical basis. We set a premise last year to have all this stuff done by the first of the year, contracts issued by sometime in January. And Jeff followed through on all those principles and issued a contract, and we didn't sign it because we wanted to talk about this bringing in somebody else.
We got
I stated-
our city attorney, we invited her to look at council. That added probably, 3 weeks? Or so.
Yeah. But for us to, I was a contractor. I understand what it's like to prepare and get ready for another year's business. There's commitments you make that people here, we never see it. For him to run his business and include us as part of one of his pickups for the coming year, he has to make sort of business plans and commitments so he's able to honor the contract that he is proposing to us to sign. And before he gets that contract, he has to be ready from the day he signs that contract on. So that means he has to do a lot of preparation work. that preparation work was done for another year's business. I really appreciate the fact that LeMay came in and gave us an estimate after the fact. I understand their side also. They are out looking for more business. But Jeff met the criteria for being in on time, for following, for giving us a price, for information, setting forth our budgets, all that stuff. And for that reason, and really no other reason, we should follow through as an ethical point of view that we're not to be backdoored or side paneled or whatever the term you want to use. He followed the procedures. He should receive the contract. We're not seeing any great changes in prices. We're not seeing any great change anywhere. It doesn't make any sense for us to pull a stunt like this after the fact. I just don't think it's proper. I think it's poor business. It's a poor way to run a city. Who's going to honor an ask for a bid or follow through on a bid to this city when they find out after they put out all the information we're going to call somebody else in? That's not good business, and I just disagree with that. So I think we should follow through and open it up again next year and see how it goes. But this year, we made commitments and we should honor those. Simple as that.
Flynn said.
Oh, excuse me.
What's that?
I'm sorry, but you know the rules. You just get our attention and we want your opinion. There. Well, thank you. This is not an interrogation. Excuse me.
What?
This isn't cross-examination of the
I'm
council.
not cross-examining anything.
If you want to make a comment, the council would prefer that you get the attention of the moderator and then they would invite your comments. Okay.
I would invite his comment.
Perfect.
There you go, John. Let's hear it.
Thank you.
Let's hear it.
What? No, I've already said it. If
I
it's
did-
broke, don't fix
Did
it.
you hear his comments?
Well, I just heard it now. If it's broke, don't fix it.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. Stay with Flynn, with,
Okay,
Yeah.
Jeff.
well said. I would invite,
I make a motion that we just continue with Jeff.
I have something to say. There's a
Okay.
motion on the table now.
there is a motion on the table to continue with the contract that is anticipated from Jeff Cummins,
I would
Community
second.
Waste and Services. We have a second for that?
Second, okay.
Seconded by
Thank
Mr.
you,
Wilson.
Jeff. Thank you.
Okay, then now is the time for additional
Discussion.
council discussion.
All right, now.
Yes.
All right, so early in December, when I saw the contract was coming up for the next year with our current provider, Jeff Cummins, I approached Jeff here in the council chambers and asked him if he would be willing to include recycling in his contract. And at that time, he said he was not interested in offering recycling. And if you remember from previous council meetings, we had citizens stand up in here and ask for recycling. So at that time, I contacted the folks in Lewis County that are in charge of waste management, and they put me in contact with LeMay, who does offer recycling, which is what prompted me in early January late January to ask the council to postpone the contract, which the council agreed to do. Since then, in the last 3 weeks, we've met with both LeMay here in the City Hall and with Jeff Cummins' company here in City Hall. Both companies have offered similar products, and in fact, Jeff has been accommodating and has offered the city a recycling option in his billing that we can accept if we choose to go with him and give the city residents what they want, which is recycling. Once again, it's a comparable offer to what LeMay has. As Jill stated, there are many companies in the area that we could solicit offers from if we cared to do. Our city attorney has recommended that that's what we do, because normally, right, you ask for bids from different companies when a public entity does, but we don't have to do that. The city at large and the council obviously is very happy with the service that we've gotten from Jeff over the years, and he's been accommodating with this recycling option. And if we want the recycling option and we want to stick with Jeff, all we need to do is have it put in the new contract, approve it, and we're done. Does that about summarize it?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
The city has LeMay's prices. on record for comparison if you care to see them, but I can tell you that they are very comparable. So there it is. So that now, but there's still a motion on the table to
Yeah.
approve the contract as is, I believe.
No, I simply made a motion to continue with Jeff.
Okay, and whatever the contract is,
Right.
the emergency.
Heated debate over trash here, folks.
Yeah. Other comments? This is a chance for the council to have your voice heard on the matter.
Can I get a clarification? I just want to make sure I have this on record correctly.
Sure, it's important that we
That the
we get the
motion-
motion accurate.
The motion is to continue the contract with Jeff or to continue finalizing the contract with Jeff? That
I
one.
think
Yeah.
that
Okay.
was, yeah.
I just
Continue
want to make
finalizing.
sure
Appropriately
that
phrased.
I'm
Yeah.
getting, okay.
Yeah, and I would assume responsibility for rephrasing, so that captures it better.
No, I take full responsibility for that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So how will this recycling option, how will that look to us community members? Do we know how that's gonna look? Is there an additional can? Jill, you know?
Well,
We have Mr. Cummings.
yeah,
We went over it in the back room last week, and it's optional, is what I'm suggesting, for $5 more per month. Anybody who wants to can separate their recycling out into a single garbage can and mark it for recycling and put it out on the same day, not to be confused with their garbage. And I'll come around separately and pick it up. I'm hoping for at least 10. And I'm hoping at first not more than 100, but I'll grow to whatever needs to be, handled. And it's on an optional basis.
it would be twice a month, right? For
Right.
like first and third.
Okay, so it'll be optional, and that can would be designated. Labeled.
Yeah, commingle, and I might separate it when I pick it up, put it in different compartments of the trailer.
And if you're a resident that currently puts out 2 cans of trash every week, you'll be able to eliminate one of those cans of trash, make it recycling, and actually save yourself $9 a month in your total fee.
So it's a win-win, okay.
Yeah.
Mainly plastic, cardboard, metals. I'm not decided on glass, but I'm thinking probably I need to find out how to get rid of it. So it would be a learning curve, and it's start with the next billing. I'll notify customers to call me and sign up. That'd be in March, April, the first part of April. And no, I don't have any hard feelings. I think it was it's a difficult situation when you're evolving into a future of inflation and you're trying to make a profit and please the people, and it's not easy. I understand all of your positions. I really appreciate the support and the loyalty. But we're in this together is what I keep saying.
Okay, thank you.
I know we have representatives from LeMay, and echoing the sentiments of Mr. Chai, I was present during those conversations, impressed with all parties involved. Both companies are earnest and I think straightforward, and impressed me is their determination to try and serve the end user. And I commend our city clerk as well, who was present and assimilated all of the complex figures and calculations that were involved in this whole deliberation. But I don't want to put words in the council's mouth. If you wanted to hear particulars of the recycling program of LeMay or not, but we're, I think, approaching the end of council deliberation on the matter.
I've already spoken with the good folks at LeMay, so I'm already familiar with it, unless some of you guys want to hear what they have to say.
I think we've got a motion on the table ready for a vote, and
Okay.
I don't think we should belay the matter.
Mhm. Council is the will of the council. That's good. Then, any other council commentary? Once, twice, then let's put the matter to the vote. All of those of you who can support the motion submitted by Mr. Fennison to authorize continued deliberation on the contract for presentation by Community Waste and Recycling by Jeff Cummins may indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion is carried. So that will be so carried out. Thank you all for your efforts in this regard. Okay, then let's proceed with item 2 under city business. Wastewater treatment topics. 2A is a report on the public information meeting about sewer plant upgrade. Last week, we held a public meeting in which residents of the city of Vader and Enchanted Valley were invited to come and participate in a presentation by individuals from Washington State entities, the Department of Ecology, Department of Commerce, and an official, Chris Kelsey from BHC, the engineering company, that's been conscripted by the council to provide engineering expertise on the alternatives. And I would estimate that we had 15, 20 people or so. The majority, I believe, were residents from Enchanted Valley area. And the meeting lasted about 80 minutes, I would say, maybe an hour and a half. And I'm going to decline to characterize the ultimate takeaway from it, but that I thought the presenters did an able job, and my sense was that they invited, solicited, and received considerable questions from the audience, and there was a lively discussion, and I think the takeaway from it would depend on who you ask. But one thing I can declare is that it stimulated future efforts to provide information to the residents of Enchanted Valley and to seek solutions that might stimulate negotiation and give and take on all parties. So that's probably about as objective description that I would provide with regard to that meeting.
I heard a couple of people at the post office stop me, and they was really concerned about going across their property in the 5-acre tracts.
I got a few phone calls too.
You did?
Oh, yes.
They was upset.
I think that you would probably be accurate in depicting that as the takeaway, but I would prefer to allow that sort of commentary to filter through your elected officials.
To me, it was the poorest design that I ever heard of in my construction business. Going across all those people's private property. If it would be mine, I'd be suing somebody.
Yeah.
I'd be taking them to court.
Well, I think the city council thought that it was an attractive amendment to the alternative provided, given that it would save about $2 million to the costs of the residents of Vader. But obviously, there are those that it would impact outside the city limits of Vader who aren't going to be impacted by the extra $2 to $2.5 million. So, I mean, it's a give and take on the.
At one time, I had a design way back in the 70s for Enchanted Valley to come to our sewer room. But then it fell through, we didn't have enough people over there, and so we didn't know where the cost would come from.
Well,
But it was thought about.
mhm. Well, I think, so therefore, what now? Is probably the question. But I think there will be efforts on the part of a number of entities, particularly engineering company, to identify some route that might be feasible. If the option remains on the table for us to put the effluent in a location other than the Olaquah. And right now the Department of Ecology, no, I'm not going to say it. We will let ecology speak for themselves down the road as our options become more evident.
Well, it's just like, I read the statement there about, I think it was 1954 or 55, when we was getting water out of the Old Crow. At the same time, during the summer, because the Old Crow was real low, they take the fire hose and pump water into this #1 sewer lagoon. Like, I know it's ecology now has changed and stuff like this, but well, they did it.
Yeah, there were some interesting ideas that emerged in that conversation, some of which were, I hesitate to call them far-fetched, but short of shipping our waste to the moon, who knows what option will emerge.
That's a new description of the firmament above and the firmament below.
Oh my goodness sakes. But anyway, with that having been said, I believe that there'll be more information forthcoming. At least the meeting was held. It was what it was. Item 2A, or 2B. To be or not to be? Yeah, no. The private side sewer project. Pay request number 2. We received a request, and I anticipate that our city clerk will jump in and rescue me when it comes to this issue, but we discussed it this morning. We've been asked to consider an enhancement to the, no, okay, she's jumping in, that is not it.
Said 3 words.
She's reading my mind, because we tried to orchestrate this first the agenda.
Council and mayor received the pay request. This is the
Yes.
second pay request by the
It
construction
is
company.
not the topic we
It's not the
discussed.
topic we discussed. That is a separate topic. This is just
This
pay
is
request number
straightforward.
2. Here's all the paperwork's been done. They've done everything they need to for this pay request. This is not their final pay request. I'm sure there will be one additional pay request after this, but this is just paying them for work that they have completed
Right.
to this
Okay.
point.
Not complicated, very straightforward.
I'd like to put a motion on the table to be approve pay request number 2 for $58,574.67.
Okay, further motion submitted by Mr. Flynn to approve the side sewer project pay request number 2 as noted. You have a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Mr. Wilson. Any additional commentary as part of the council?
Well, they're 300% complete, so that's a good sign, right?
They're over and above their contract.
Yeah, they
Is
better
that
get
the
them paid.
budget overrun?
Sure.
Thank goodness. I read that. That's interesting.
Well, I think they ended up doing more of the clean out assemblies than they anticipated. There was some change by Department of Commerce that required them to go back and do some.
There was a change order issued earlier. That was an addition.
It was a small enough change that it didn't require an amendment. It was just
Well,
something
I hope that was answered satisfactorily.
Yeah, I figured it was just a,
that just means they spent 300% of what they anticipated they were gonna spend on
right.
that
They
particular.
pulled some of the overage into that
Yeah.
calculation.
Right.
Just remember how they did that, Jeff, so the next time you put in a billing or hit that 300%.
300%. Your target is,
Very good. Thank you for that astute observation.
Anyway.
Any other comments? Okay, then, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. Then, with that, I would gavel this council meeting to a close at 6:54. Thank you all.